$100,000 on this Sierra.
Tonight, showdown over the wall. President Trump demands money to pay for it and not from Mexico. Democrats say no chance. An escalating fight, days to avert a government shutdown. Breaking his silence, former President Obama, what he signaled today about leading the charge against Trump. New uproar on a plane. An American Airlines flight attendant allegedly grabbed a stroller from a mom, nearly hitting her babies. How her case is tied to that dragged United passenger. Black market medicine, unable to afford the pumped up prices. Parents taking desperate measures to get the insulin their children need. And the Oscar goes to Faye Dunaway, speaking about that botched envelope at the Academy Awards, what she was thinking in that awkward moment. Nightly News begins right now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening. Like a team trying to put more points on the board before the quarter ends, the Trump White House tonight is trying to make some big plays ahead of the 100 days in office mark next weekend. And none of them are easy layups. Tax reform and another drive at replacing Obamacare are on the agenda, as the president finds himself behind his own schedule in delivering on some of his biggest campaign promises. And now tonight, his game plan is running up against the threat of a possible government shutdown. White House correspondent Kristen Welker has details.
With the president's first 100 days in office fast approaching this Saturday, the government is set to run out of money at midnight Friday, could shut down and potentially cloud his first major milestone. Today, his press secretary sounded confident but offered no guarantees.
Can you, from that podium, guarantee that there will not be a government shutdown?
I can't guarantee, but I feel very confident that won't happen.
The biggest sticking point, the president insisting he wants the spending bill to include funding for the border wall. But for Democrats who are opposed to the wall, that's a non-starter.
This is ultimately on Donald Trump.
Well, let me tell you, it will be the Democrats that shut this government down to block the funding of the wall.
And while the president is trying to downplay the 100-day benchmark, calling it a ridiculous standard, there's a frenzied push to notch some last-minute wins, including a second try at health care reform. His biggest legislative push to repeal Obamacare failed the first time. And on Wednesday, Mr. Trump is set to unveil his tax plan. According to one of the president's top advisors, that plan is designed to make good on a campaign promise.
We are going to lower taxes,
slashing the corporate tax rate from 35% to 15%. But when it comes to actual achievements, so far the president's legislative record is thin. Trump's signed 28 bills, 13 roll back Obama-era rules, 9 are ceremonial, and only 6 have legislative substance. This comes as the new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll shows Trump's job approval rating now stands at 40%, the lowest for any president at this point in the history of the poll.
It's like ratings week, right? And so let's throw everything at them and give them the razzle-dazzle and give them a great show, and maybe that'll move the poll numbers, but I'm not sure it's going to work.
White House officials say expect the president to roll out several more executive orders this week. Officials here adding they're determined to keep the government open, even if it requires a short-term extension to the funding bill. Lester.
Kristen Welker at the White House. Thank you. Meantime, tonight we're hearing from former President Obama speaking out in his first public event since leaving office, jumping back into the spotlight, and a lot of attention focused on what he would say about his successor, President Trump. NBC's Andrea Mitchell has details.
Thank you. Hey!
Today, former President Obama breaking his public silence for the first time since leaving the White House.
What's been going on while I've been gone?
Back in Chicago, signaling he will not lead the resistance against Donald Trump.
The single most important thing I can do is to help in any way I can prepare the next generation of leadership.
In fact, aides say deliberately not mentioning Trump, ignoring the president's explosive Twitter accusation that Obama wiretapped him and his other slams.
I inherited a mess.
Why not fight back?
While he certainly doesn't agree with a large number of the decisions that have been made, this is the outcome of the election.
When they left Washington, the Obamas said they'd be dropping out for a while.
First, we're going to take a little break.
Spending the past months kite surfing with Richard Branson, vacationing on music mogul David Geffen's luxurious yacht in Tahiti. Michelle Obama's Twitter feed, pure romance, no politics. But Barack Obama today admitting his youthful idealism.
There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
Was too optimistic.
There's a lot more that people have in common than divides them. But obviously it's not true when it comes to our politics.
Former aides say that Mr. Obama wants to avoid criticizing President Trump the way George W. Bush refused to criticize him, even though that is frustrating some Democratic activists. Lester?
All right, Andrea Mitchell, thank you. There is new information tonight about a pair of incidents on airplanes in which passengers were mistreated, caught on videotape, sparking outrage. The latest happened on an American Airlines flight when a misunderstanding over a stroller turned physical. It comes after the infamous dragging of a passenger on a United flight. Here's NBC's Tom Costello.
Tonight, the mother of twins involved in the confrontation with an American flight attendant that went viral has hired an attorney.
She is a typical mother traveling with two children with all sorts of stuff. And the fact is, she was treated very, very shabbily.
Thomas Demetrio is the same attorney representing Dr. David Dow, the United passenger who suffered serious injuries while being dragged off a plane in Chicago. And tonight, for the first time, we're hearing the radio traffic telling security officers to head to Dr. Dow's plane.
Disturbance, Charlie 3 on the aircraft. Flight was overbooked. Now 2 passengers are refusing to get off the aircraft.
But the airlines handled the 2 cases very differently. While United at first blamed Dr. Dow, American immediately suspended the flight attendant who allegedly ripped a stroller away from the mother, nearly striking the child in the process.
Hey, bud. You do that to me and I'll knock you flat.
Then facing off with a passenger. American also upgraded the mother to first class, then issued an apology, saying, "What we see on this video does not reflect our values or how we care for our customers." United ultimately did apologize to Dr. Dow, who suffered a broken nose, teeth, sinus injuries, and a concussion. And today, again, United apologized for the shameful way in which he was treated. Are you satisfied with what United has done now to make amends?
Well, they haven't made amends. I mean, the fact of the matter is they disparaged Dr. Dow. They said he was belligerent, and the fact is he wasn't.
Meanwhile, both passenger rights advocates and flight attendant unions say the incidents are symptomatic of an industry under strain. Tonight, we have incident reports from the security officers in Chicago who have since been suspended. One of them says that he was giving it under duress because he feared getting fired if he didn't. Another accused Dr. Dow of violently swinging his arms before officers pulled him out, which witnesses said did not occur. Lester?
Tom Costello. Tom, thank you. There are growing concerns tonight that North Korea could attempt a show of force, possibly a new nuclear test within the next several hours. This as a U.S. aircraft carrier is finally set to arrive in the region. And President Trump is putting more heat on the United Nations to rein in Kim Jong-un. NBC's Kelly Kobiea is in South Korea with more.
Tonight, President Trump turning up the pressure on the UN, telling the Security Council at a White House meeting that they're underperforming on North Korea.
The Council must be prepared to impose additional and stronger sanctions on North Korean nuclear and ballistic missile programs. This is a real threat to the world, whether we want to talk about it or not.
And now, U.S. military sources telling NBC News it's likely the North Koreans will take some kind of action to mark the anniversary of the regime's army tomorrow, from a missile launch to the country's 6th nuclear test. And that the USS Carl Vinson will be arriving near the Korean peninsula within hours, around the same time that a U.S. sub, the USS Michigan, arrives in South Korea. Tonight, North Korea lashed out at the U.S., calling the deployment of an aircraft carrier extremely dangerous, and warning that if attacked, they'll turn the ship into a huge pile of steel buried at sea. Threats, but no mention of American Tony Kim, detained at Pyongyang Airport Saturday as he was leaving the country. The North Koreans are now holding 3 Americans.
I think what you're seeing is, Kim Jong-un is starting to flex his muscles because he feels the pressure.
It's now Tuesday morning in Seoul, and so far no sign of any test by the North Koreans. President Trump has spoken to the leaders of both Japan and China. China's president urging restraint on all sides. Lester?
All right, Kelly Cobier in Seoul, thank you. Now to what's being dubbed the French Revolution of 2017 at the ballot box. A pair of outsider candidates upending decades of control by two major parties. One of them, a right-wing firebrand hoping for a Trump-like upset. The other, a centrist who started his own political party when nobody thought he had a fighting chance. We get details from Paris from our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel.
Tonight, just two candidates remain. The future of a united Europe hanging in the balance. The polls tonight favor Emmanuel Macron, who would be the youngest French president ever, a 39-year-old banker and a strong supporter of the EU. But his spokeswoman told us today they're not popping the champagne yet.
We understand the challenge, and we really want to show to the world that it's possible for democracy to stand up against fascism.
The candidate she calls a fascist is Marine Le Pen, who finished a close second, a far-right anti-immigration firebrand. She would be the first female president. She wants to leave the EU and has modeled her campaign on President Trump. But many in France haven't liked what they've seen of the American president so far.
I think for most people, the first 100 days of Trump have been a failure and have reflected negatively on the potential of Marine Le Pen in France.
But Le Pen's supporters aren't giving up. They're going on the attack, questioning Macron's youth and preparedness. And there are already headlines about his personal life. Macron's wife is 24 years his senior. They met when he was 15. She was his high school drama teacher. But this is France, and voters tend to overlook their candidates' personal lives. Observers here point out the 24-year age gap is almost the same between President Trump and the First Lady. Pollsters say the election is Macron's to lose. There has been a trend in global politics toward nationalism, first with Brexit, then President Trump's election. That trend could end here in France. Lester?
Richard Engel in Paris, thanks. Back here at home, a battle is raging over controversial pieces of history in New Orleans. In the middle of the night, the city removed the first of 4 Confederate memorials that have been at the center of a heated debate for years. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has more on the uproar.
It was the dark of night. Workers in helmets and tactical vests tearing down a Confederate memorial in New Orleans. Security so tight, police snipers looked on from surrounding rooftops.
We are, of course, elated that this monument is coming down. But again, we say that this is a cowardice, that this is happening in the middle of the night.
The Liberty Monument was an obelisk dating back to 1891. Hy McHenry says it honored his great-grandfather.
It's an egregious attack on history. This is the history of our area. You can't change it by pulling down monuments.
But Mayor Mitch Landrieu says the statue is offensive, once used as a rallying point for the Ku Klux Klan.
We will no longer allow the Confederacy to literally be put on a pedestal in the heart of our city.
It's the first of 4 monuments set to be taken down throughout the city, part of a southern state trend to move Confederate symbols to museums after the 2015 massacre of 9 black churchgoers in Charleston, South Carolina. The New Orleans Majority Black City Council voted to remove these statues that year, but legal battles slowed the process until now.
They silently stoke the flames of racial hostility. That's the price to keep them up. I say it's better for us to take them down, and then we can move forward into the 21st century.
City officials say they've gotten death threats, so the mayor won't say when the other monuments will come down. Tonight, the Big Easy is struggling with a difficult past. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News.
A massive 5-alarm fire broke out today near the University of Maryland campus. The fire at an apartment complex under construction sent plumes of black smoke into the sky and forced the university to shut down the campus, where some students complained of breathing problems. More than 200 firefighters responded. The cause is under investigation. Still ahead here tonight, black market medication. Parents turning to underground networks on social media to get the medicine their children need to live when insurance won't help. Also speaking out, Hollywood legend Faye Dunaway opens up exclusively about that infamous Best Picture blunder at the Oscars. We'll be right back.
Needles. Essential for him, but maybe not for people with rheumatoid arthritis, because there are options.
like an injection. Xeljanz XR, a once-daily pill for adults with moderate to severe RA for whom methotrexate did not work well. Xeljanz XR can reduce pain, swelling, and joint damage, even without methotrexate. Xeljanz XR can lower your ability to fight infection.